Hey, what's good? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching Sit Down. The champ is back. It's a new year. Claressa Shields is getting ready to fight. How are you? Welcome back.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. It was a pretty wild 2019 for you. I'm sure you're really pumped for it to be 2020.
Yeah, super. Only fought one time last year. This year I'm starting off with a big fight, and I'm hoping to have 3 or 4 more throughout the year.
Yeah, that'll go a lot better than last year. I mean, your one fight last year was pretty incredible. So why don't we reflect on that? Yeah, you became the undisputed champ. So what's the big memory you take away from that?
I mean, become an undisputed champ. You know, I schooled Christina Hammer, 10 rounds, beat her up. We had a great press conference leading up to that fight, and just a great whole lead up, all access, everything was great. And then I did what I was supposed to do, and I won. So that was great.
Atlantic City was hopping too that night. You had a good crowd.
Yeah. Atlantic City is.
I mean, listen, you'd like some more people.
It's a great place.
Yeah. It is a weird place. Yeah.
No, I think it's great.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I like the diversity of people. You know, how they all interact differently with you. You know, and how some just kind of, whoever they're cheering for, they kind of just walk around with them and kind of just blend in. And it was super cool to be down there.
I mean, there were some T-Rex heads in the crowd there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. We're going to have the same thing this fight.
I love it. So since then, there's obviously been a ton of stuff that's happened.
Yeah.
You were supposed to fight Ivana a couple times, didn't work out. You had the injury. There was controversy at the press conference.
Yeah.
How have you grown just as a person the last few months?
I just kind of, I've grown, but I've just been dealing with stuff myself the way that I've always dealt with it. You learn new things, you know, and just from the, you know, I learned how to take better care of my body. I learned more about my body, what makes me feel better. I'm a vegetarian now. I haven't ate meat in 3 months. I just learned just to always stay calm, you know what I mean, and be patient. And that's one of the things that was hard to do with only fighting one time. Last year, I was so eager just to get in 2 before the end of the year, but then since it didn't happen, we just went to 2020, and now we're starting fresh.
What inspired the diet change for you?
I watched the movie Game Changers.
I watched it too. Yeah.
And then I watched Game Changers and What the Health.
The same thing. Yeah, those were the 2 big ones for me as well.
Yeah, and What the Health really just showed me how it was like, it's all a conspiracy, like the whole meat and
it's crazy
what it does for your body and all the nutrition facts about it. Boss. And I just was like, you know, I had to try it out for myself. You know, if I felt like crap not eating meat, then maybe I would have went back. But I actually felt 100 times better with more energy. It's so many different things. More energy, better sleep schedule, just losing weight faster. I mean, just overall for me was the part of just feeling more energetic. You know, I felt like I slept a lot, you know, and I would have to take a nap throughout the day. So I wasn't really like I wasn't living my life as much as I wanted to. And when I wasn't in camp, majority of my time was spent sleep, you know, so it was just like, but when I'm in camp, I'm working out 2 or 3 times a day and I have the energy for that. But when I'm out of camp, I just was like, right after I eat, I just slept.
Right.
And then I get up and still be kind of tired. I'm like, man, what's wrong? You know, so when I stopped eating meat and seeing how I can stay up all day without a nap, feel great, go to bed, wake up, it's just a whole different way of life for me. So it made me feel younger, even though I am young.
I mean, you're 24, but the fact that you can feel that great is pretty cool also.
Yeah, and I just was like, I was concerned, you know, to get up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you eat breakfast, which I love. I used to love sausages and pancakes.
All the good stuff, bacon, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
But then it just was like, right after I eat it, I'm tired and I'm sleeping most of my day away to get up and probably do stuff 5 o'clock till, you know, everything closed at 10 if it's in Flint. So I really wasn't living my life. So now I can actually do more things, and it just made me feel like I have more time now. So
that's awesome.
Super happy about that.
So what are the things you've been eating? Like, what's been in the diet for the fight?
Honestly, what have I been eating? I still eat eggs, but only the egg whites. I don't eat the yolk out of them. I think that'd be the last thing that I'd probably get out of my system.
Yeah, eggs, at least you can still get a good source of protein from there.
Yeah, but I still eat, it's the same thing. Like, okay, if you like fried rice with chicken, now you do the fried rice without the chicken.
Yeah.
You know?
Just throw some veggies in there, you're good to go.
Some vegetables, you're good. I do vegetable spaghetti, which is my favorite. I cut up some mushrooms, mushrooms, bell peppers, onions. I cut them all up.
That sounds good.
Use the same tomato sauce, same noodles, eat it. My nutritionist makes like these little vegetable patties. I love black bean burgers.
Yeah. I'm doing the same sort of diet. Yeah, the plant-based thing is where it's at. I like it too.
But I'm not too big on the soy products. You know,
they're a little rough. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're okay, but sometimes I'll throw it in there. But majority, I just try to stick to the vegetables, the fruit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people have to realize that if people eat meat, meat should be the side dish.
Right.
If that makes sense.
You're always supposed to have a little tiny source of the meat.
Right, but everybody use a big old steak and you got a potato and some broccoli.
Should be the opposite.
Yeah, it should be like you should have a lot of potatoes, a lot of broccoli, and a little bit of meat. You know, so I love vegan tacos. I mean.
Are you doing fish?
Fish, I had to do salmon once a week, but I only ate it twice throughout camp because it just was like, once you stop eating meat, it makes you feel less bloated and less, you just feel like your stomach is always just kind of clear.
Yeah, the inflammation goes down.
Yeah, so it was like when I ate the salmon, I felt like I was like kind of constipated for a couple days, and I'm like, yo.
This isn't me.
Yeah. No, like this is not what I want to feel like again. So I just went back to the all vegetables, the fruit, the noodles, and I had to cut it on the rice just because I'm losing weight. But there's gluten-free rice, gluten-free noodles, which is less calories than the actual other stuff. So.
Yeah, there's a ton of good stuff out there.
Yeah, it's way more stuff to eat than just meat. If you don't eat meat, you're not going to die. You're actually going to live a little bit longer.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing too.
A little bit or a lot of meat, one of them.
It'll actually help you in the long run.
Right. And my body looks different. I have like a nice six-pack.
Yeah. So you're feeling leaner as a result.
Feeling leaner and feel stronger. You know, I dropped down from 160 to 154, and when my coach says like you're hitting harder, and I'm like,
you're like, really?
Like, okay. I mean, you know, like maybe he's blowing smoke, but I actually sparred against Andre Durrell for 8 rounds, and he's like, yo, you punching.
Wow.
I'm punching more, and I was punching at 168. He just was like, dude. I don't know if it's a technique, but he was like, dude, you punching harder.
That's fascinating.
So I was kind of shocked to hear that, and I'm like, I can't wait for the fight.
Yeah, I mean, you have the fact that you've grown personally, you're making all these changes, and the fact that this fight with Ivana, like, there's a lot on the line here. There's been a lot of talking from her. Like, I'm sure you're just ready to get out there. So what's the biggest motivation right now in terms of this fight?
The biggest motivation for me is just becoming a 3-division world champ faster than any other boxer, male or female.
Anybody, ever.
Yeah, Lomachenko holds becoming a 3-division world champ the fastest right now, and that's in 12 fights, and I'm doing it in 10 come January 10th. So that's my main motivation. Regardless of what she say, her actions have to show, you know, so she can say whatever, you know. I think it's sad that she's using her coach's incident that happened in Flint to kind of, I don't know, like make herself bigger, you know, and it's like, that's kind of insensitive to me. You know, it's like, do you really care about your coach or not? But for me, it's just like, I hate a situation happen, you know, but she keeps bringing it up in every interview. She's like, I'm doing this for my coach. I'm doing this because of this. I'm doing it, you know, and she just, Claressa can't read. Claressa can't comprehend. Claressa can't this. Claressa can't that. And just blah, 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 blah. And it's like, look, at the end of the day, you know, truth be told, I am the cash cow in women's boxing. Ivana is getting paid the most she's ever got paid for a fight. She's being treated better than she's ever got treated for a fight. But she has to realize, yes, she may want to win, but she's just another opponent. I'm the greatest woman of all time. She's just somebody who's showing up, who's an opponent, who worked their way up to be ranked #1 to fight for these belts, but she's going to lose, just like everybody else.
I feel it. I love that you just live your life unapologetically. Like, I chose this picture of you here because that's who you are to a T, and even hearing you talk like that.
Just be quiet.
Yeah.
You know, shut up.
You set the tone. So when you think about it, like whether it's women in boxing, women in society, like we like to put women in boxes and not give them the respect they deserve. But you live your life unapologetically. When did you get to that point that you're just like, screw it, I'm going to do me? And, you know, who inspired you along the way for that?
You know, I've always tried to do that. But there's people who come in your ear and they say certain things. Or they say, oh, women's boxing sells if you do this or if you do that. And I kind of did my own homework. And I did try some of their ways, you know, people giving you advice, you try some of their ways. But you know, a special somebody, Andre Ward, told me like, sis, if that's who you are,
go for it.
Be who you are. Like, he was like, look, I'm not a big trash talker. Whenever I talk, I speak in a couple sentences and I get my point across and I leave it there. But he was like, you, on the other hand, you a woman, you bold, you know, you outgoing, you speak up for yourself and other women. He said, if that's who you really are, which he's been knowing me for years too, he was like, that's who you really are, don't let nobody change you. And when he told me that, it kind of was like, all right, it's definitely go time now. like I'm not gonna, you know, have to keep forcing myself in dresses and wearing heels and
you just do
having to wear my hair straight and all this other crazy stuff just to feel like, oh, if I don't do this, I'm not gonna get the publicity that I want. He was like, the publicity that's gonna come to you is people who relate to you. You don't want it. If everybody relates to you, it's a problem. And I say that because there's not a one person in this world who could say that they like everything about a person. You know what I mean? So it's like people may not like that I talk trash, but I also back it up, and I'm a great fighter.
Yeah.
They may not like that, you know, I'm carrying a sport of women's boxing, but I am the best woman fighter, and that's my role, and that's my goal to speak up for all of us. It's some women fighters, even though I took the fight game to unique measures, they still don't like me just because of their own personal reasons. So it's like, at the end of the day, no matter what you do, there's going to be somebody who don't like you, and it's like, for me, all right, cool. You don't have to like me, but you will respect what I do.
Yeah, amen to that.
And that's kind of how I am.
Yeah, even like throwing the UFC stuff in there, it's like, all right, great, that would be awesome and all that, but like, you're killing it in boxing.
Yeah,
like, let's just focus on that. You know, we're always trying to make these super matches and everything. Like, how much does that bother you? Like, do you let that stuff kind of seep in, or it's like, why can't we just focus on the boxing as opposed to like Nunes and Shields and Cyborg and all that sort of stuff?
I don't really have a problem with it, to be honest. It's all a combat sport. I think I'm a better street fighter than boxer, and I say that because of my street fighting days.
Well, you got some experience with that, right?
Back in the day.
Back in Flint.
Yeah, you know, back in the day. So MMA is something that intrigues me just because it's a combat sport.
Sure.
And it's something else to learn. You know, I'm 24. Now that I've learned everything in boxing, but I know more than all the other women fighters and a lot of the males. You know, so I'm like a boxing enthusiast. Like, I know everything about boxing, I feel. There's maybe some stuff that other fighters can teach me, but I know everything that I need to know. So I feel like with MMA, it's kind of more of like the second coming of my life, but I'm never going to stop boxing. Like, I actually plan to have my first MMA fight at the end of the year. I don't know against who, but it's definitely going to happen. We've had talks with One Championship, PFL, UFC. I don't want to forget nobody. One Championship, PFL.
There's definitely a lot of
and
interest.
Bellator.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to forget nobody. But everybody is super respectful of me. Like, I've talked to Dana White, and it's just great to have that respect as a woman when women really don't get it, especially coming from boxing.
Yeah.
You've never heard about them even caring about if another girl boxer fought against an MMA fighter.
No.
It's never even come up.
You're changing that conversation.
Changing the conversation. So for me, it's like, I know I'm great in boxing. I'm a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, you know, undisputed world champ, about to be a 3-division world champion come January 10th. So for me, it's like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the best way to make the most money out of my career and my lifespan that I'll be here boxing and doing whatever I'm doing, because I won't be here to do it forever.
Right.
So, you know, for me, hey, if they're going to pay me, you know, $2 million, $1 million to get in the ring with Amanda Nunes, I'm there. Amanda said that they had to pay her $1 million to do a boxing match. Listen, we'll pay you $2 million. Just come on.
Let's get it going.
Like, let's go. Like,
that would be
soon
amazing.
as you agree,
I'm in.
I'm in. Like, you don't have to worry about it. And even on the opposite side, like, when I really started learning that stuff about MMA, and because I'm a quick learner, it's ridiculous. As far as in being when you're an Olympic athlete and somebody teach you stuff, it's just in your head. Like, boxing is in my head forever. I cannot box for a whole year, 2 years, and come back and look great. You know, so for me, learning this new sport is going to be fun. I'm doing a camp with Johnny Jones.
Ooh. When's that happen?
After his fight.
Gotcha.
He fights February 8th.
Okay, so somewhere after that.
Somewhere in there. So he told me to come down for a week or two, and he's going to show me some stuff and teach me some stuff. And it's kind of like in my head, I'm like, that's going to be so hard. But and also on the other side, I'm like, this is going to be so much fun. So.
Yeah, you're up for the challenge. Like, listen, like a lot of people like just want to get to the top of the mountain. You're there right now, but you want to get to an even higher elevation. Yeah. That's kind of where you're going in 2020 is what it seems like. Yeah,
I think last year I built myself. This year I established myself. So it's like last year we did all the building. We kind of put the bricks on a house. Now we just have to paint the house up and put the nice little stuff on the inside. And you just kind of have to detail it now. So I'm really looking forward to this year.
So with that being said, when it comes to Friday, how do you make sure there's no issues with detailing the house? How do you get the job done?
I want a Deontay Wilder, Ivana.
Ooh!
I'm telling you,
I love it.
It's bad. It's bad what's
There's a lot of extra
her.
motivation because we talked in April and you weren't talking like this.
And listen, well, one, because Hammer wasn't disrespectful like this.
No, Hammer went about her business.
Hammer talked trash,
yeah,
right?
But this is a whole different level.
And then we're talking about Hammer, who's actually a very skilled woman fighter, right? And then we have Ivana, who hasn't accomplished jack shit, and think she's top dog because she got all this media attention because of the incident that happened in Flint with her coach. It's like, look, nobody cares about you. Everybody cares about your coach. And she's using the situation to kind of just being real insensitive, just to keep on bringing him up, and because she wants to get more publicity for the situation and to herself. But it's like, look, after I beat you, you'll be just like Hammer.
We won't be hearing about you.
Won't be hearing about you. You probably won't want to box no more because I'm gonna put down the beat down on your life.
That's all you need to know about Friday's matchup. All right, there you go. That's Claressa Shields. Showtime Friday night. What time is it? When can everybody check it out?
I'm the main event, so you can come at 9 p.m. We got Jerron Ennis on the undercard, and I'll be the main event. I think I'll be fighting like at 10:30, but tune in at 9.
All right.
Because we got some good undercards.
Good deal. For Claressa, I'm DJ. We'll see you again here on The Sit Down.